I was very uncomfortable being in a very stable job without sales. So I wanted to venture, and that was where I actually saw a great company that I wanted to learn from, and that was Property Guru. I wasn't doing IT. I wasn't doing real estate salesperson. I was actually doing business development for the KEOs and the agency levels.
And that's where I think before even you join the journey to be a real estate, I remembered you were looking after a few accounts, right?
Yes.
A few of the KEOs, yeah.
That's right. Several of the companies were including PropNex, other agencies like Century 21, Dennis Wee, and even another big agency.
I see.
But I still remember when I came to PropNex, it was an eye-opener in 2012. My very first PropNex annual convention. I was there accompanying my CEO because I had to learn to present to agencies. And I have never forgotten how you, CEO, with Yong Hok, KO, just kept inspiring the people and interviewing the champions and the leaders of the company. And
so you were saying that you came to our PropNex annual convention in 2012, accompanying the Property Guru's CEO, hosting him, and you were seated at our convention, watching our entire program.
Yes.
And what triggered, what made you think that you quit and joined and decided to go on a completely 100% commission scheme?
So truly, even though I was a property guru at a higher basic salary of about 2008, still not much. But when I went home, I knew I couldn't sleep. The scenes of what you shared and what the interviews went with the leaders and the champions and awards, kept refreshing in my head. And for a moment, I was very lost. I'm not sure who I was. I'm not sure where am I heading. On one hand, I was very attracted by how PropNex had a culture of empowerment, and compared to many other agencies out there, I knew that this was very special. However, honestly, deep in my heart, I also had the big fear of leaving a very small, minor 2,700, 208 salary to something that's no salary at all. And worst of all, CEO, honest, most people with a degree would like to usually go for a professional job based on the degree. For a real estate salesperson, at that point of time, I thought it was not a professional degree required, and there's no basic salary. In fact, I had a degree. Why waste it? People are saying. Will my family and friends look down on me because I choose to go for this path instead of the usual lawyers or bankers or even IT?
Okay, I mean that's interesting. Therefore, I mean I know. I think what you are referring to here is believe me, anyone who comes to our PropNex convention, there's a huge danger. They may not join us, but for sure that night they can't sleep. That's the minimum I can guarantee. Because I think truly inspirational stories are shared. And especially one segment, which is the conversation with the CEO. Now we are having one-to-one, but usually on stage we got 4 or 5 people, and they really talk their hearts out to an audience of 3,000 to 4,000 people. And sometimes tears are dropped and so on when people really connect, and that's truly inspirational. Yeah, I really want thank you for taking that leap of faith and deciding to join PropNex as the first company in this journey. But I also want to know, how was the early years while you were in real estate, maybe let's say from 2012 to before you earn your 2017? Let's understand your 13, 14, 15, and maybe even up to 16. Maybe you can even break it up, the first 2 years versus the subsequent 2 years before 2017. Tell me your challenges.
Yes, sure. So that year in 2012, I took the plunge. I left Property Guru. I did my RES exam, course and exam. And, I thought things would be very smooth, but I was wrong.
Sorry, did you pass it in the first attempt?
Yes, I did.
Then you are intelligent. I tell you, then you are intelligent. Because the passing rate is, I think, so low. I don't have a percentage because it is not announced. But when I talk to 10 people, 7 to 8 people fail. So you have the brains. Congratulations. Sorry to cut you. Continue, please.
See, I was so inspired that I even brought like 20 people from my RES course to come to PropNex to meet leaders. I met about 5 leaders, and I was, I haven't got a license yet, but I just want to learn more and just to prepare for our exams, and also find out if this company and team is the right place to go. And many of them stayed on, of course, in all leaders that they chose. But when I joined officially in December 2013, 2012 December, I still remember from the day I started my course all the way to April, I had 0 sales. I had 9 whole months of not cracking my 8, and I was very, very stressed and demoralized. In fact, boss, can I share openly? Every day before I got my license, I'll take an hour bus, a ride every day from my house in Marine Parade to PropNex office in Toa Payoh, just to take 1 to 2 hours of cold calling. I'll observe how my manager James Gunn's telemarketer do it. I'll learn from Kelvin Fong, how in his book, how he used to do cold calling in his earlier days. And I really struggled. I just keep calling and calling every day until even 10 p.m. when people complain to me for calling so late. Yeah. Wow. But I was calling in the room rental in Bayshore area for the whole 9 months where I called since my course began to April. I remember I tried so hard and I drained all my savings, right, from my previous jobs before I closed my very first deal. That deal was a 2-bedroom rental at the Bayshore at $3,400 a month for 1 year. So I earned a mere 1,700 commission in 9 months.
Wow. Okay, so all the rosy story that we talk about right now, and as I just introduced, Millionaire for 3 years in a row, but you had your fair amount of struggle, depleting all your savings and just earning $1,700 in the first after 9 months. And therefore, if I just broadly say, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, how was your income like?
So my first year, I think I barely crossed 20,000. And the next years, I barely crossed 20, 30, 40. Even in my 4th year in real estate, I only crossed like 60,000. And that's like nothing much compared to all my peers who really advanced in their IT or other careers.
Did it occur to you that 2 things? One, point blank, that you are actually a
failure.
You want to put it that, yeah, you are a failure or you're a loser. I mean, you have a degree, you didn't get it right in the first job, and then you go to Property Guru, you go to a convention, you get inspired, and then start to dream, you can't sleep, you start the thing, and then struggle for 9 months just to earn 1,000. And what did your friends, your loved ones, your parents think about you?
It was very difficult. I was very, very discouraged. Even before I joined PropNex, I just got out of a relationship. So for a guy, usually it's like career, money, relationship is something that you hold identity to. I had nothing of sorts. I really wanted to give up. Many times in the first 2 years, I was always on job street, looking at job positions. What if I choose not to become a real estate agent? What if I choose to do a stable job and just live a comfortable life where people just exist? But boss, I did not give up. One thing for sure is I read many books. I went to the library across Singapore. I read all the real estate books I can find in Singapore and beyond Singapore. I even read Success in Real Estate Volume 4, where Kelvin Fong was interviewed, and especially the book You Can Fly by a new CEO. I read that book cover to cover. I memorized the chapters. I never forgotten the chapter of mentoring, where you share about the baker. And that really, your written content inspired me to greater heights. You are my first inspiration.
No, thank you so much. I want to ask you again. Then what changed? What brought the breakthrough? What ignited in you? What happened?
Now, out of desperation, what ignited was the breakthrough was in 2016. That was my 5th year in PropNex. That year, I joined our PropNex very own first boot camp. I'm forever grateful to Gary and Kelly who were interviewed at the previous We Inspire. They made a difference. And one of the things that I learned from you, boss, and all the leaders, all the facilitators who spent time that boot camp was 100% willingness. right? 100%. So for all the PropNextions and friends watching this, you can type in the comment box below, 100%. I never forgotten it. I did things that I never done in my entire life before. I will not share here because it's confidence. But with that trust and 100% willingness, if you all type it in, I see someone typing in, those sales and leadership bootcamp really helped me set the stage. Build confidence, build fear, removing fear, and doing things I've never done before.
Okay, I want to just ask about again this. I think, yeah, Corina put 100%, Shahrul, thank you so much, 100%. And we are all talking about willingness.
Yes.
And the bootcamp is for those listeners who are hearing for the first time and so on. It is an PropNex signature program. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we have to just put a stop button of safety, social distancing. Thousands of our PropNex people have gone through. I think Loyalle was among the pioneer. I think when you registered, we couldn't even get started for your batch. So we have to postpone, if I remember, 1-2 times before that we can form the enough numbers. But subsequently, we cannot accept people because overwhelming.
Yes.
Okay? Just briefly for the listeners who are out there, just to give it a glimpse, our boot camp, let's say sales boot camp, start at 3 days. It starts as early as 7 a.m. And the first day, at the earlier days when we started this boot camp, used to end about 12:30 to 1. The second day, probably we try to let them go early, about midnight. And the third day, the graduation can be up to 2 a.m. And we're talking about 7 to midnight, 7 to 1, 7 to 2 is like insane. But believe me, none of them fall asleep. Neither will they fall asleep. But it is, and that is a catalyst for many of our salespeople to do well. I really appreciate that you remember that journey as one of these initial breakthrough. And maybe can you just, now let's zoom into the years of 17, 18, 19, as recent as last year, when you had your breakthrough and you started to do that $1 million production. How did you rewrite the way that you want to do the business, and where did you decided to focus in terms of your business plan?
So you mentioned about rewrite. I actually have a book in front of me. This is the very first book. I'm not sure you can see it. At the very first boot camp in June 2016, I wrote down, I even have my sticker on my name here, and I wrote down what I want to redo, every single thing that I learned in the training, and how willing am I to take action and to fulfill the dreams that I have buried many, many years ago. Now, many people do not believe that I can do shop houses. I was very interested in shop houses, which I started in 2015. But many people believe I couldn't do it because I look too young, right? People still say I just passed from national service. Compared to my family members, I'm not as good as them in communication, all right? I speak very fast. And my wife even says that I can't even speak simple Mandarin to my clients. So people do not believe I could do a market that is full of sharks and very, very high risk. After 2 years, from 2015, I bootcamp in 2016, I finally closed, after 2 whole years, my very first shop house sales. I never forgotten that feeling. And it was something that it just feels like a sense of achievement. And I must thank to the people who trained me and encouraged me and caught me clear. That shop house was almost 10 million in value.
That's definitely an amazing breakthrough, but that would not have happened if you do not have the necessary knowledge, the mentorship of all those people who supported you. And it is also got to do within you, the belief system and the perseverance in wanting to do. So today, can I say you're someone who is really be seen as a specialist in the area of shop houses? That's something that you think, you breathe, you eat probably every time thinking about only shop houses. And how many kind of shop houses have you done? Maybe not the exact number. How focused are you in this area?
Great question. So since then, I never look back. Many people say I was lucky, but I just keep on keeping on, being consistent. And since 2016, end of the year, till now, since then, I've sold over 350 million worth of shop houses and hotels and luxury homes as well. I would say almost 400, 350 million in the past 3.5 years.
Wow, that is an amazing achievement. I mean, for all the listeners who are out there, and if you think that is definitely an outstanding performance for someone who can't even close one recruitment person working for a company for 9 months and yet coming to join and going through with the belief of closing the first deal in shop houses in the last 3.5 years or so, having to close almost $350 million worth. And you know, shop houses ticket can come anything between 3 to 5 million to 10 million to 20 millions of all wide spectrum. If you think this is definitely something and a good achievement, put a thumbs up or put a clap in as you watch, and please continue to share. But I think we have asked so much, and the person we have here is Loyalle Chin, who's an Associate Division Director in PropNex, and as well as an specialist in the area of shop houses. And he's extremely confident about these areas. Okay, I also want to know, what are some of the challenges where people do experience right now, either be it in a pandemic or the economic slowdown, or as well as the global tensions, retrenchment, and so many things. People tend to focus on many a time the stress of the negative messages that appear on the front line. What would be some of the way that you have overcome your own challenges, and what are some of the guidance that you would like to give it to the listeners, how to overcome some of these things?
I think there's just at least 2 things that I'll share from my heart. Okay, the first thing which I want to share is, just as what our CEO mentioned, even though I haven't had any results for the first 4 years, in fact, less than 100K in my first 4 years to combine, but I knew that my foundation was laid and being strengthened. And this is one thing for all those watching this, help me type out in the chat box again. Really important point, help me type in the comments below. Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. A season of faithfulness will lead to a season of fruitfulness. Even though I had no results, I was sowing in tears, but I knew that one day, whether it's sales, where is it character, where is it relationships and the people I learn and work with, I would reap a harvest. I would continue to be faithful, and they will lead to a season of fruitfulness. And therefore, even though I had no sales in the beginning, but it was all accumulation of experience, resilience, grit, and even mental strength. For those who are watching now, and if you have commented in the box, I'll let you know that now we're in a new season of fear, a new season of comparison of the people we see on Facebook all the time, whether it's agents or even friends who are having children. And I want to let you know that it is important that we stay with the right spirit, with the right like-minded people of a season of faithfulness. Just like you, CEO Ismail, no matter how busy, no matter how tired you can be, you keep sharing at the consumer seminars, you keep creating with the leadership more and more things to add value. And that's why I'm here today, because I truly believe when I signed up for this Re-Inspire over like many other applicants, I wanted to add value to our people and to our friends and clients watching this. So just be faithful, and you'll lead to a season of fruitfulness. The second thing I want to add, boss, just last thing is, I'm very grateful because of the mentoring and the leaders who really invested in me. I have 3 persons to definitely thank. The first one of them is Richard Tan, who took time to start me off on shop houses. I literally went to his house, we had coffee many times just to understand the difficulties I faced and the struggles. So there was a lot of mentoring, and I'm very honored to have him come to my wedding. And even Sister Chanel, Kelvin Tong, Sam Lim, Kelvin Fong for keeping me sharp, and of course our dear CEO for helping me to communicate and inspire by example. So that helped a lot.
I really appreciate that. And there are many other names that probably may not even have mentioned it. But isn't that our PropNex culture? You know, our PropNex culture is all about helping, sharing, supporting, unconditional love to each other as brothers and sisters of a big family. And we have joy when we see our people grow, and those people who believe in themselves and at greater value in the life of others. Okay, now I want to also again say, again, due to time, and again, as I did promise people that we will finish by 4:30, but we have already exceeded 4:30, but I'm just going to round up these particular segments. But so far, we have asked you a couple of questions. I said, maybe short answers, because if we have many long answers, then we can't finish it. What's your hobby?
Reading. Not just the news, but real solid good books. Yeah.
One or two topics, books that you have read that inspired you.
Oh, wow. I like to read about wisdom, principles. My favorite authors are Tim Keller and Stephen Covey. I believe that successful leaders are readers.
Wow. Successful leaders are readers.
Yes.
Okay, fair. What's your favorite food?
Truly, my favorite is my grandma's home-cooked food. For my mom who's watching this, unfortunately, my grandma passed away recently, and she returned to the Lord. So, but I miss her food a lot. I love home-cooked food.
Bless her as she is in the arms of the Almighty, probably hearing you too, okay? I mean, all our loved ones and so on. I mean, definitely, believe me, even if my mom is watching, I tell you one honest secret. My grandma's food far superior than my mom's recipe. I'm not sorry. Yeah, so there is a difference. It was really very different. I do not know, maybe it's something that, because my grandma also looked after me in my younger days. So that's why I love cooking and the food. Let me ask you, what's your dream home? And where are you staying actually? Where is your dream home? You're going to start your family.
My dream home is where my wife, my children, and my loved ones come together, wherever it may be. But personally, I just got a new home this year. We got a new landed house. We're very thankful because we put our investments into it. It's an investment house, right? Our neighbor recently, of the same land and same floor area, neighbor recently sold at over 8 million. Yep. I really struggled to buy it because of the tremendous responsibility. But my wife and I see it as an investment. So for those who are watching it, in the next, when it reaches 10 million, I'll be happy for you to help me sell. And we look forward to our friends, maybe inviting you, our CEO, and our loved ones to come over, maybe when we move in after that.
Okay. I think one of the thing here is this, Loyal just bought very recently a house. I think what he has done here is this: he had worked hard, he had earned, if you like, into 171819. And as what even Fast said at the beginning, if she has $1 million, she's going to plow it into the property investment. That's our teaching, because we want people to be prudent, to invest when we can and when we are young. How many of us at the age of before, I think 34, right? Have you 34 this year, Loyal? Did I mention?
Yes, I am.
At 34, you can own a semi-detached house of a decent size in the tune of $7 to $8 million or so in a neighborhood, very rich neighborhood. I think it's something is inspirational for all of us who wants to achieve that. Okay, so what's the future?
Wow. As I mentioned, I'm just being faithful in the little things. Just keep sowing. Boss, on a side note, let me just show you this slide, which I wanted to show. Last slide for today is, let me just show this slide, okay?
Good, no worries. I think, yeah, I think I give you, it is your show. Thank you so much for joining. And I think it's only right that you can share.
This is the slide where I had my very first boot camp on the top left with Kelvin Fong in 2016. And the next year I was a facilitator with you and Kelvin and many other great facilitators. And the one on the right is our, just this year, before COVID, we had the celebration of the Millionaire on the yacht. So I'm very honored to continue to be a millionaire every year with you.
No, I think, thank you so much. I think this is a journey that we admire in our people. I mean, put it this way. I mean, as we wrap up the today's session, thank you so much to almost close to the 100 of you who are at the live. We will put this recording for many of you to share. I think the greatest takeaway I had in the last half an hour talking to Loyal here is this: the inspiration truly here is this. And I would say it is from nobody to somebody. That's the way I will end off by saying, from nobody to somebody. And exactly as Loyal shared, the earlier days is growing up and his career, He felt that he was a nobody when he worked for a HR firm. He went to Property Guru, but he really didn't achieve it, any big achievement in Property Guru. And for that matter, but he was a dreamer, as he claimed. But when he joined PropNex for the first 3-4 years, struggled through, but he persevered. But today, I dare say, he's somebody in the arena of the shop houses, and he's somebody who has proven consistency of perseverance and hard work, and networking do give results, and has always been humble with the desire to learn every time. So with that, thank you for sharing. And if you want to say any other final 30 seconds, as this is your show, I leave it to you.
I just want one last thing. I want to thank my wife. Also, I have a photo of my wife here. She's been a pillar of strength. In fact, for everyone here, this is my first time sharing online. We're looking forward to our first child, first baby, coming soon, expected about Christmas Eve. So we thank God for the gift of life. And even as I stay focused and faithful in my workplace, I will also learn to be focused and faithful in my family, because I believe God has given many responsibilities for us to be good stewards.
Okay, thank you so much. I think this is definitely a very, very positive ending, and may you be blessed, and may the Almighty give you all the strength, and may the two of you bring an angel to this world as the gift of Christmas, and we all celebrate. With that, to all the audience, thank you so much for joining us in this We Inspire series, episode 3 with Loyalle Chin. God bless. Have an amazing week ahead. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, CEO. See you guys, everybody.